Welcome back to Two Wheel Culture, the home for all things motorcycles, where we break down the newest rides, explore their performance, and see if they're really worth your hard-earned cash. Today, we're diving into one of Kawasaki's most versatile small-capacity adventure tourers, the 2025 Kawasaki Versys X300. It's light, it's nimble, and it's designed to take you from the city streets to the mountain trails without skipping a beat. Let's see if this little adventurer still has what it takes to compete in a market that's more crowded than ever. Now, at first glance, the 2025 Versys X300 doesn't look drastically different from the previous version, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Kawasaki has stuck with the formula that made the bike such a hit among beginners and long-distance commuters. You get that signature adventure bike silhouette, tall windscreen, upright ergonomics, a long travel suspension, and a semi-aggressive stance that looks ready for anything. The updates this year are subtle but meaningful. The front fairing is sharper. The LED headlight design has been tweaked for better illumination, and Kawasaki has added new graphics and color options, including a gorgeous metallic matte Grafton steel grey and a pearl robotic white that give it a premium touch. Underneath, the Versys X300 continues to run Kawasaki's tried and tested 296cc parallel twin engine, the same platform shared with the Ninja 300. This motor has always been one of the smoothest and most refined in its class, and for 2025, it gets minor ECU updates that improve throttle response and mid-range torque. It still pumps out around 39 horsepower at 11,500 revolutions per minute and 26.1 Newton meters of torque at 10,000 revolutions per minute, which might not sound earth-shattering, but for a 300cc adventure bike weighing around 184 kilograms, it's enough to keep you smiling on winding roads or dirt tracks. The 6-speed gearbox remains slick and precise, with Kawasaki's assist slipper clutch providing a lighter lever feel and preventing rear wheel chatter during aggressive downshifts. Performance-wise, this bike has always been about balance, not brute force. It's not the kind of machine that'll rocket you forward with violent acceleration, but it's incredibly predictable, and that's exactly what you want on an adventure tourer in this displacement range. The twin-cylinder setup means it revs freely and feels smoother at highway speeds compared to single-cylinder rivals like the BMW G310 GS or the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. You can cruise comfortably at 110 to 120 km per hour without the engine feeling strained, and the bike's lightweight means you can easily handle it even in tricky off-road situations. Speaking of comfort, the ergonomics on the Versys X300 are one of its biggest strengths. The seat height stands at 815 mm, giving you a commanding riding position while still being accessible for average height riders. The wide handlebars and neutral foot peg placement make long rides surprisingly easy, and the windscreen does a solid job of deflecting air, reducing fatigue on extended highway runs. Kawasaki has refined the seat padding for 2025 as well, making it more supportive for both rider and passenger, a small but meaningful improvement for those who love touring. Now, suspension setup is key for any bike that claims to be adventure-ready, and the Versys X300 delivers a well-balanced configuration. Up front, you get 41mm telescopic forks, while the rear uses a unitrack gas-charged monoshock with preload adjustability. It's tuned on the softer side to handle rough terrain and potholes, yet it still feels composed when you lean into corners on asphalt. The ground clearance sits at around 180mm, giving you enough room to tackle light off-road trails or gravel roads without worrying about scraping the underbelly. Braking duties are handled by a 290mm front disc with a twin-piston caliper and a 220mm rear disc, both paired with dual-channel ABS as standard. The braking performance is confidence-inspiring, especially with the latest ABS tuning that provides smoother intervention on loose surfaces. Kawasaki has also fine-tuned the bike's traction characteristics, making it easier to control wheel slip when you're on gravel or wet roads. When it comes to practicality, the 2025 Versys X300 shines. It features a 17-liter fuel tank, which, combined with its efficient twin-cylinder engine, offers an impressive range of over 400 kilometers on a single tank. That makes it one of the best long-distance performers in the small adventure segment. The digital analog instrument cluster might look a bit old-school compared to fully digital TFT units seen on rivals, but it remains clear and functional, displaying key information like gear position, range, fuel economy, and more. Some markets might even get an updated LCD display with smartphone connectivity, depending on regional variants. Now let's talk about the riding experience. Whether you're commuting daily through city traffic or heading into the mountains for a weekend trip, the Versys X300 adapts effortlessly. In the city, its narrow profile and excellent steering geometry make it easy to maneuver through tight gaps. Out on the open road, that smooth twin-cylinder power delivery and the stability from the long wheelbase make it an absolute joy to ride. And when the tarmac ends, the Versys feels surprisingly capable. It's not a hardcore off-roader like the KLX series, but it handles dirt paths and mild trails better than you'd expect. The combination of a 19-inch front wheel and a 17-inch rear wheel gives it decent off-road composure, while still retaining agility on pavement. In terms of features, Kawasaki keeps things simple but functional. You get LED lighting all around, a 12-volt DC socket for charging devices, handguards on higher trims, and optional accessories like panniers, a top box, crash bars, and a center stand for serious touring setups. Kawasaki's accessory catalog for the Versys X300 continues to expand, making it easy for riders to customize the bike to suit their adventure needs. Now, let's address the most important part: the price. The 2025 Kawasaki Versys X300 is expected to be priced around $6,399 in the United States, or roughly a superscript 15.7 lakh ex-showroom in India, depending on region and variant. For that price, you're getting a reliable, comfortable, and extremely versatile motorcycle that can take on daily commutes, weekend adventures, and even long cross-country rides with ease. Sure, it might not have all the latest tech like traction control or ride modes, but its simplicity is actually one of its strongest points. Fewer electronics mean fewer things to go wrong, especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere. So, who is the Versys X300 for in 2025? It's perfect for riders who want a lightweight adventure machine that's easy to handle, doesn't intimidate new riders, and yet delivers enough punch and refinement for experienced tourers. It's for those who value reliability and smoothness over raw power and who want a motorcycle that can comfortably cruise all day and still take a dead detour when the road ends. At the end of the day, the 2025 Kawasaki Versys X300 stays true to what made it special from the start. It's approachable, dependable, and genuinely fun to ride. It may not be the flashiest or the most high-tech adverb on the market, but it continues to prove that sometimes, the most enjoyable rides come from simplicity, balance, and a bit of Kawasaki spirit. So, what do you think? Does the Versys X300 still hold its ground against the newer competition? Would you pick it over something like the Himalayan 450 or the G310 GS? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Two Wheel Culture for more honest reviews, deep dives, and everything that moves on two wheels. Until next time, ride safe, stay adventurous, and keep the culture alive.